audio test. Hello guys, I know I'm a little bit late today, about 2 or 3 minutes, I'm sorry. Been a little bit rushed this morning, but here we are. On the ground in Cagliari. We made it. Anyway, yeah, so today we are going to be heading over to Gibraltar. And we have actually got a DC-3 inbound to Cagliari right now on the Vatsim network. That's interesting. Who knows, maybe we'll see them once we connect. So that's interesting, isn't it? A DC-3. I hope I have modern matching for that, because I wouldn't mind seeing one in the sim. Alright, we'll connect the jetway now. Now, in real life, Ryanair fly from Cagliari to Seville. Seville? Maybe, I don't know. So I figured they're the best airline to do it. We're using the correct call sign for that route, but instead of flying to Seville, we're flying to Gibraltar. You're here on the ground at gate 7 in Cagliari. As you can see, these gates are sort of joined up, so you've got quite a lot of... There's only one jetway between them, basically. But yeah, this scenery, I forgot, it is really nice, isn't it? I honestly do personally really like it. But yeah, so that is that. Right, now, let's get started. We need to get self-loading cargo up now as well. We need to do that quickly. Here it is. And we will get this all plugged in. So we are in a 737, of course. 737-800. We're doing default. And I can tell it that we're Ryanair. To get a Ryanair sound pack. Should we do that? I don't know, because the music... I've got that turned off, but it could be copyright. You know, this is Ryanair. The music's turned off, so hopefully it won't be copyright. I want to import from SimBrief, so you can see here, Ryanair 62 Zulu. Oh, I need to change that, actually. I think the actual flight number is like 15, like 1516 or 1615 or something. We'll just say that. That's our route today. 805 Zulu's looking good for departure, so we'll go ahead and click Start Flight there. And it should load that in. Here it is. Luckily, we have a few passengers. Most passengers are actually satisfied on board today when we start, so that's good. Anyway, right, we'll leave self-loading cargo for now. We'll go ahead and get our load all set up for today. So for today, we're taking 8,603 kilograms of fuel. We've got a small bit in the centre tank. Okay. There's enough, though, that I can use that on takeoff, I think. We'll keep those off for now. Okay. And then payload. We're meant to be taking 184, but apparently the maximum layout of this thing is 174, so... Or at least according to self-loading cargo, we're taking 184, yeah. We can only take 174, apparently, so... We'll just take 174. And we're looking for a zero fuel weight today of 60.9. 60.9, so we want to add 5.7. See where this gets us. We need to add a little bit more. Right, 2850 then. It's being seriously fussy. 2850. There we go. 60.9. All perfect. All good. This can go on. We can get the ground power actually and get rid of the APU. We don't need that for now. Anyway, get the emergency lights on. Everything else can stay off for now. We're not ready to turn any of that on yet. We'll go ahead and connect ourselves to the Vatsim network as well. So today our call sign is Ryanair 62 Zulu Foxtrot, and we are a 738 Boeing 737-800 aircraft today. Turn any of that on yet. Oh, good. Right, okay, now we can get on with actually flying the plane. So, this can go to position in it. We can put in LIEE for Cagliari. Actually, I need to file the flight plan. Let's fetch our flight plan from the server. There it is, it's correct. So I'll file that. Perfecto. Now this can go onto the doors page. We'll close this door and then self-loading cargo can open it, I guess. And we want to go to request boarding on GSX. Remember, we have 184 today. Pretend we have 184 because that's how many self-loading cargo's got. And we'll tell this we're ready for boarding so they can start at the same time.
We're ready to get going now, so as soon as you're ready, you can open the doors and start letting the passengers on board.
We've already operated the jetway, of course, so no need to do that. We're on the ground here in LXGB.
No problem.
How's that an invalid entry? LXGB. Okay, I don't know what gave me an invalid first time. Ryanair 62 Zulu Foxtrot is today's flight number. Alright, now, on to what we're planning out of Cagliari. Now, there are a number of departures we can actually take from Cagliari to Covas. There's 20, in fact. Not quite 20, there's a lot, though. From runway 32 is what we're planning. Winds are looking perfect for runway 32, so yeah. QNH as well, I'll set that is 1017 here on the ground. What on earth? There we go. Brought up the Windows menu and it totally messed that up. Right. So 1017, there you go. We're now actually above ground. And I'll bring up the charts to make sure I'm picking the correct Covas, because it's weird that there's so many Covas departures. We're planning the 5 mic. I have no idea why there's so many. Does it say anything about this departure? On the Covas 5 mic is... Yeah, Covas 5 mic is basically like... They all take different routes out of Cagliari. Cagliari. Let's say Cagliari because it gets confusing. So we're taking the 5 mic apparently. Runway 32. Covas 5 mic. It's a bit of a weird one, but you know, that is how it is. There's a number of different routes we can take. The route today, we're basically going direct everywhere today. So first waypoint is direct to Zatos. Then we're going direct to Otaro. Then it's direct to Genio. Then it's direct to Labro.
Hello. Thank you.
Then it's direct to AMR. Then it's direct to Pimos. And that is it. It's all direct today. So activate that, execute, and from there we are taking an arrival. We're going to be using runway 09, I should think. Now it doesn't really matter based on our star. There are no stars in Gibraltar. It's going to be a runway 27. Looking at the winds. Yeah, looking like it's going to be a runway 27. Who knows? But that's what the winds are looking like. So we'll take 27 for now. I don't really, you know, it doesn't really matter which one we take, as they both have a PMOS transition. It's an RNAV, so we're going to take RNAV 27 PMOS transition, execute that. And it doesn't really matter which one we take, because they both take us in from Himos in the same sort of fashion, same sort of quite old route in look. You can see there. That's how the approach is in Gibraltar. We'll take a look at it a little bit later on. But whether we're using 27 or 09, they're different approaches, but they're not going to waste us any time. And it probably won't mess up our top of the centre or anything. It appears the plane spawned in with all its lights turned on again. When I flew it on Friday, it did not do this. It's weird, it spawns in, this plane, with all its lights turned on. I don't want them turned on. Like, because I think it does impact on FPS a little bit. Also, you just don't need it. I like the plane how it is without lights. And it's not dark, so you don't need them. And I think most of the lights are turned off now. It's just these ones that need turning off now, and then that should be it. And that's the thing, unlike the Boeing 787 where there's literally one light you flick on, there's so many lights in this thing, and you have to scroll forever to reach them. But anyway, that's that side. Flight directors, left side, right side, and auto throttle arm. May as well do that now. And we can now go to the init ref page. Zero fuel weight is plugged in there, 60.9. Reserves today are going to be, I think, 3.9. No, 3.2. I looked at it earlier. Yeah, 3.2. So we're planning to burn 5.4 on the fuel. Cost index is 25. Those two don't add up, but it's what Simbrief's telling me. 5.4 and 3.2 make 8.6, not 8.7 or whatever. Initially cruising today at 350. We may be going up to, we're going up to 360 briefly for one waypoint, and then back down to 350. It probably isn't a restriction, because it's a direct, but it must be, you know, because it is a little bit of a weird one, but it's what Simbrief's plan does. Cruise wind to 347 at 29er. Execute that. Insufficient fuel, this is going to tell us, obviously, because he planned the wrong reserves. It's what this thing reads, basically. There's no matter, though. By insufficient fuel, it means not enough for the reserves. And what else do I need? Oh, yeah, the transition altitude out of Cagliari is 6,000, so we'll plug that in now. No D rates today. It's quite a lot. It's actually quite a short runway anyway. Flaps 5. Centre of gravity calculated. V2 is going to be 148. So we'll get that up there. And VNAV and LNAV should work fine. This can go straight up to 35,000, I believe. They're not quite finished with the passengers, but we can start the EPU. We've got enough time for that. And everything's looking good. We need to set the trim to 5.03. So just past 5 on the thing. Is that about it? Oh, a little bit too far.
Morning.
Good morning.
5. Yeah, for some reason, South Berlin Cargo has been a lot slower at loading passengers. Now, they do run the same 2 seconds per passenger thing, but who knows. Right, 5.03 is set on the trim. All good. Everything's all good to go here. So this can go back to this page. We'll just take a quick look at the departure. So we need to be at or above 1,000 at our first waypoint. And then we intercept, and then we head to Covas, where we need to be on the 5 mic. It's at or above 9,000 on the Covas 5 mic. It's a very immediate departure. The 5 mic is the shortest one. If we were taking the 6 Delta, no, we'd be taking, if we took the 6 Echo, we have to get sort of vectored halfway back around the airport. The 5 mic is the one that goes straight out, meaning it's quite a steep climb gradient, but 9,000 should be no problem for us, honestly. It'll be a steep climb, but it hasn't told us it'll be unable, so I think we'll be okay today. Rest of it's all looking good.
Hi there, we are pretty much ready to go.
Quite a nice simple route today, really.
On board,
So everything's all ready to go. We're waiting on the last passengers, and we have got a DC-3 in the area. So the DC-3, it can't use SIDS and stars, I don't imagine. It is a very old-fashioned aircraft, so it's flying VFR, in fact, yeah. So it's currently 60 miles out, so we'll tune into Unicom and announce everything we're doing on Unicom. And it's currently at an altitude of 6,000 feet. It's been steady there the whole time, so we'll have to, obviously we'll have to avoid it. I don't think, does it even have a TCAS? So I might not see it on my TCAS. We'll have to see, because I don't believe it has one, being a DC-3. It's marked as, like, /C in its remarks for the aircraft type. Obviously a standard is dash, it's like a /L, it's standard type. And then something like your -8 is a /G. I don't exactly know what they mean, but I know roughly what sort of aircraft follow them. Right, this can go down to map mode now. We can get traffic and weather turned on. We want weather and turbulence. We'll set our squawk mode. Okay, we'll set our squawk to 20. No, to 2000 TARA because we're about to push back now. And we're on Unicom. Weather and turbulence is set. Looks like they're all finished with the doors and everything. APU should be up and running. It is. Cool. We can get our fuel pumps turned on. We can get our electric gens turned on. Seatbelt signs and chime can come on. Beacon lights can come on. This can go up to 35,000 for cruise. Packs can come off for engine start. Propeats can come on. And that is it, I think. That's everything. There you go, everyone's all aboard. They've shut the doors, so we can actually shut it unless it's... Oh, it's already done it itself. Cool. So this can go on to ground connections. We can get rid of ground power. Set parking brakes so wheel chocks can be turned off. And that's it. So this can go into the FMC and then progress page. And we can see it's all lovely and good. Perfect. That means we are now ready to go, and my phone is having yet more internet troubles. Great.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking, and on behalf of
honestly,
myself,
it's a Wi-Fi extender
I'd just like to give you a warm welcome
that has
on board
errors,
the aircraft.
honestly.
As you may have noticed, we've now closed the doors and
Right,
expect to be departing.
heading of the runway is going to be 317. Okay.
If you require any assistance from the cabin crew, please press the button above your head and be sure to
Perfect.
listen to the safety
Right, we are
briefing
all
that will be
ready
playing in a few
to
moments.
depart
You'll hear
then.
from me again once we reach our cruising altitude, but for now, once again, welcome aboard and thank you for flying with us.
We're going to be pushing back to the left and making our way over to runway 32, which is over there. And we should all be ready to go. Oh yeah, all brakes into RTO. Everything's all ready for departure then, so we can go ahead and get the pushback started. Cagliari traffic, Ryanair 62 Zulu Foxtrot, pushing back. We're going to taxi down to runway 32, and we're taking the Covas 5 Mike today. Cagliari traffic. Excellent. Everything's all ready to go now, basically. Everything is all ready for departure. We can get the engines into that position, actually. Everything's all looking good up there, so we're ready. We're ready to push back. We're going to push back to the left, obviously. So we're facing this way. You can see the lovely scenery here. It's pretty nice. That DC-3 is still at 6,000 feet. It's going very slowly, like 160 knots. It's not a quick aircraft, the DC-3. We want to go left, obviously.
Departure check completed. Bypass spacing inserted. All engines clear. Start at wheel.
Right, let's bring out the weather for Cagliari quickly. Winds are all looking good. 33011. Right, engine 2 into the ground position. And we're going to start our engines. No ATC online today currently for the whole route, sadly, but we'll wait and see what we get later, I guess. There's 20, introduce fuel on number 2, and we'll start number 1. Everything's looking good. Crew are not seated yet, but apart from that, all fine and working.
Cabin crew, please arm doors, thank you.
There you go, introduce fuel on number 1. Right, config. Oh wait, we'll do this after finished pushback. So you should now be able to see, you should now be able to hear a Ryanair safety briefing. But by the looks of it, it sounds like it's in Spanish. Oh, I remember that. I've flown on Ryanair and it sounds exactly like, it's like, it's Irish.
Hi Captain, the cabin is secure. All doors contact. We're ready to go.
It's pretty cool this actually. They've done this with BA as well. There's a Discord that you can get onto via the South London Cargo website, and there's tons of these little packs. It's awesome. My engines are started so they can go into the... But they can go into the continuous position. Engine gens can come on. APU can come off. Packs can go back to auto. Start parking brakes.
Waiting for your confirmation for good engine start.
And we'll set flaps 5. Engine is good. Right, tax lights can come on ready now. Everything's all looking good up there, so we're all ready to go. The engine start switch can come back up to here. No, not start switch, that thing. Right. Config, check. Recall, checked. Flight controls are absolutely fine. Flaps, good. Stabilizer trim is set to 5.03. Takeoff briefing, we know what we're doing. Start switches are in the continuous. MCP set. Transponder is on. Landing and strobe lights and retracts will be done closer to takeoff. Okay, we are all ready to depart. Hilarious, I can see that, I can hear like the, I can hear the music, not the music, the takeoff. I can hear a Ryanair safety briefing going on. It's great. What on earth? What on earth is the tow doing? What?
Right is clear.
I don't know what that tow was doing, but it was quite comical. Welcome to GSX, honestly. Right, we're just waiting for the have a good trip signal from GSX, and we can get on our way. We're going to taxi straight ahead here, and then head all the way down Alpha. Have a good trip. Right, parking brakes off, and away we go on the departure. Off to Gibraltar. We are bang on time. We're due in 2 hours and 36. Our block time, that's our block time, right? No, it's our scheduled time. Which is 2 hours and 40 minutes, I think, scheduled time. As you can see there. We should easily make that. We should be on the ground early, I should think. But excellent, okay. Right, we're taxiing along here. We're going to make a left on Tango. And then we're going to use Delta to get... No, not Delta. We're going to use Hotel to get onto Alpha. Okay. Once we get onto Alpha... Oh. That was taken from the Ryanair sound pack. They haven't actually asked them to do that yet, I don't think. So taxiing along here, we'll make a little right turn here on Hotel, and then we'll head all the way down Alpha. Once we're on Alpha, we'll tell the cabin crew seat to take off, because it is time for them to sit down and enjoy the flight. It's so cool that you can see that's for the stands actually, but it is a really cool pack this. Right, left turn on Alpha now. We're going to do full length takeoff today because it's only a 9,000 foot runway. It's still pretty long actually, but yeah. Right, cabin crew seat for takeoff.
Cabin crew seats for takeoff, please.
Perfect. Everyone's looking pretty satisfied today. We haven't got anyone with terrible health on board, so it's all fine then. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Right, that DC3 is still at 6,000. I don't really know what it's doing, honestly. I might not see it on my TCAS as well. That's kind of a worry. There's a photo Ryanair. Obviously, that's a static aircraft. That's part of the scenery. Nice little touch, that really. Right, I'm gonna get the SID chart up now to follow. Oh, it doesn't support moving maps. Okay, we can get rid of that. Actually, no, I'll keep it up. It just doesn't support moving maps. Okay. You can see there's loads of cranes and things in the area. It's very nice. Cagliari traffic, Ryanair 62 Zulu Foxtrot. It's planning to line up runway 32. Is anyone on approach? Yeah, we'll see if we hear anything. If they're on Unicom. They're definitely in hearing range. Okay, they must be all good with it. Okay, cabin crew are seated, so we're all good. Right, landing lights can come on, runway turn-offs can come on, taxi lights can come off. Right. And we are taxiing onto the runway at runway 32. You can see these lights, look, on the runway alerting us that there's a runway. We'll just do a quick visual check. There's no one, I don't see anyone up there, so, you know, they're still at 6,000 feet actually, so they've probably still got a little bit of way to go. So we're all good. Right, make a little right turn and line ourselves up for takeoff. Runway heading is set, V2 speed is set, climb is up to 35,000 feet. Okay, let's line ourselves up then, and start the clock initial power, and toga, and away we go. 3 knots.
100.
Oh, so that's self-loading cargo.
V1.
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 Rotate.
V2.
There's V2. Quite a steep climb out here. We need to be above 1,000 feet. Positive rate. Gear up. So following the LNAV, there's 400 feet radio altitude. There's the VNAV. Might be quite a steep climb or not. We're going to start pitching down a little bit now. We're above 1,000 feet in time. This thing does climb pretty quickly when you want it to. Look at that. That's beautiful, isn't it? Alright, there we go. Plane is starting to slow down a little. Pitch it down some more. We can disarm the auto brakes and lock the landing gear. Okay, pitching the plane down further now. And I can see that DC3 by the looks of it on my TCAS. That's good. Right, there's flaps 1. So flaps up to 1. I'm going to make a right turn now round to the intercept point on our SID, and flaps up. Right up to Big 8, pitch for climb now. I'm going to start getting some serious speed now. I need to be above 9,000, remember, at Covas, which is still quite far away, so we should be okay. Still doing some nice hand flying. Now we can pitch the plane up. What's got the passengers? They were on 84%. Oh, Wi-Fi. They're complaining about Wi-Fi. Nice. I was going to say, is it my flying? No, luckily it's okay. It's not my flying. I'm flying it pretty gently, I think. Right, make a little left turn now. And pitch it down now. And we're above 6,000, so we're no longer an issue to that DC3. Right, autopilot can come in now. And runway turn-offs can come off as well. There we go, that is us in the air. We're almost out of centre tank fuel. that quickly. There's transition attitude, standard pressure. And after takeoff checklist, air conditioning, start switches, set, and aircon is already set. Landing gear is locked, flaps retracted, and altimeter is set from transition attitude. There we go, perfect. This thing's now making its way over to Covas, and we are above 9,000 pretty safely, so we're pretty good. We're following the arrival out to Covas now. We are meant to sort of join Covas quite nicely, although I can't really tell what we're doing because of... Actually, no, we are meant to join Covas like that. It's I'm being silly. Yeah, it's because of the angle. It's because of the angle of the charts, and the fact they don't support moving maps is a bit confusing as well. And centre tanks are out of fuel. That was quick. The other two tanks, there's no imbalance at the moment. There's 10,000 feet. Landing lights can come off. That was quick. This thing is a pretty quick climber when it wants to. And there we go, that is us safely above the skies, above 10,000 feet from Cagliari. We're now going to resume our route just after Covas. We can go up to 8 nautical mile range on here now. Make sure there's no weather or anything that's going to pester us today. After Covas, I'll switch the seatbelt signs off. Inside, obviously outside, it's already done automatically, unfortunately, but you know, whatever. You can see there's 740 miles to Gibraltar. Today's meant to be exactly 2 hours, the planned flight time. So, I don't know, who knows, I guess, on that. Right, we're going to go up to 35,000 now. We're just waiting on this. There is a slight imbalance of fuel, but that's because of the AP. Actually, no, it's in the other one. It doesn't mean it's the APU. If we do get a fuel imbalance later on in the flight, I will, of course. I know how to fix it now. But at the moment, it seems to be okay. Obviously, our fuel flow is pretty high, so we're using the fuel pretty quickly right now. But as you can see, we're above, 13,000 at Covas now. We're meant to be above 9,000. So this thing's it's climbed like a rocket. This thing, and we're all good. Then make a left turn here. There's currently nothing inbound Gibraltar, it's only us. So no problem. We'll look at the arrival for Gibraltar once we get in the sky. I'll get the weather for Gibraltar plugged in as well. Ready for later. And perfect. When I'm climbing, pretty good. I don't know what happened to the satisfaction of the passengers, it just dropped. There doesn't appear to have been anything bad that happened. No. Good. It wasn't to do with my flying. That's the bonus. I mean, as long as if the passengers are unhappy due to the cabin crew or something, it's a bit annoying because it does affect my pilot grade a little bit, but it's not that annoying. It's more annoying when it's because of me, or generally it's because of turbulence, and it blames it on me. Right, seatbelt signs can come off and into the auto position. Weather radar and traffic are both turned on. We've got no ATC today at the moment, unfortunately. We might not get any the whole flight, but never mind. We're there if we're going to get any. It's quite rare I get ATC on flights like this anyway, unfortunately. It's because they're not very popular routes, Generally, it's flying in and out of the UK and Amsterdam. They're like the two hotspots on Vatsim. I think maybe I would like to do some more flying around Australia, so I think I am going to do that, not next week but the week after, flying from Brisbane to Cairns I would like to, so I think we'll do that in the 787. And since we're not flying the 787 next week, maybe we'll have a bit of 787 week the week after. It sounds quite nice. Passing 18,000 feet, we can now serve drinks. However, the cabin crew don't actually want to, so that's fine. Right, so the plan for today is 350 until Genio, and then up to 360. and then at Labro, back down to 350. I know it sounds weird, but that's how it is, unfortunately. Yeah, the 6 we can save fuel by climbing up to 360, but it's literally going to be straight up, straight down. So I don't really understand why that is. It must be to do with the distance, like to do with how we're flying. There are restrictions like that. That's what I can think. Anyway, so we'll plan a step climb for that a bit later on. But it's a very short runway in Gibraltar as well. Look at that, 5,800 feet, very short runway. So. Yeah, we'll be setting, I believe it has been manually extended as well. It's pretty nuts. All arrivals to Gibraltar head to Plymouth and then start their RNAV. Obviously we're going to Plymouth as it is, so there's no problem. And we need to be at flight level 90 at Plymouth and 2 for 40 knots unless ATC clearance for lower flight level is obtained. So execute that in there, and that's the only restriction. The last time that changed was in 2018, so the procedure hasn't changed for ages, and that was a missed approach change, so there's no problem there. So we need to hit 9,000 at Plymouth. What do we mean no descent path after Plymouth? Looks all good to me. Looks quite nice. And then we need to be at 1,500 at GB27F, mandatory 1,500. Yeah, everything's all looking good. It's an RNAV approach, so there's no frequency to tune at all. Final approach course is 269, so we need to set that. Perfect. That's our arrival, mostly planned. I haven't done the minimums yet. I'll do that in a bit. I will just basically just activate. There's only 2 charts I need to pin anyway. Very short runway. The airport hasn't been changed in over 3 years, so that's all good. What were the changes? I am interested. What were the changes? It doesn't say. But yeah, there's literally 5 stands here. It's a very short runway. We're gonna have to backtrack down the runway. It's more. It's not only a complicated approach to Gibraltar. It's the airport itself. Because of how Gibraltar's shaped, you know, it's a country on its own. It's a very small country. It has to have an airport, and that's sort of the best place you can fit it, really. But it's still very awkward. Anyway, right, we're climbing up now to 35,000 feet. We're all good on that. Looking at the weather for Gibraltar, it's definitely going to be a runway 27. QNH jam is 1021 at the moment. I don't know what the transition altitude is. By ATC, transition altitude, however, is 6,000, so that's what we'll use. Because there's no ATC, so we can't do a transition level. Okay, look at that view outside. No clouds at all. It's quite a nice livery, this is Ryanair. And yeah, all good really. I don't mind the livery on Ryanair. It's quite a nice livery. Now looking at our passengers, is anyone particularly bad? No one is bad. Hunger, they're not really that hungry or particularly thirsty. I don't really know what. Got some anxious passengers. Is that? Yeah, we've got quite a few anxious passengers that are sort of medium. Wi-Fi, and there's been a lot of complaints about the Wi-Fi, and a few people were a little uncomfortable when the aircraft climbed. Apparently that's because it was a bit of a steep climb grading out of Cagliari, possibly. Who knows? Hopefully when we can serve some food, that'll go up. That satisfaction. Right, up to 350 now. There's currently nothing inbound Gibraltar, so there's no need to announce anything on Unicom when we get there. It is quite a long flight, so we've got a little bit of time to settle in now, about an hour and 40 minutes or so, really. I'd say we've got into Gibraltar. I'll be up to 360 at Genio and then back down to 350 at Labro. Who knows why? But it's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? But that's how it is, so we'll put in a step climb. And this thing will do it itself. So I'll be up to 360, then back down. And we'll get all our descent stuff sorted later, once we're at cruise. Yeah, they're doing a very slow climb. There's no fuel imbalance issues. It's staying at the same amount. And you can always expect a slight imbalance because of things like the APU being on, or what engine you started first, that sort of thing. You can always expect a little fuel imbalance, like by 0.001. That's allowed. Now, airport elevation, Gibraltar is 12 feet, so we can leave the landing altitude at 0. So yeah, everything up there is all good. Yeah, 12 feet the airport, that's not. Now we probably will have quite a rough landing. I can't float in Gibraltar, I have to just push it down. Because it's not a long runway. 5,800 feet is not long. And if we get it wrong, we end up in the sea. So yeah, might be going for auto brakes 3. Oh, there you go. They're going to start serving some drinks. The service think it's time to do that. I guess why not? We're almost at cruise. They did boost satisfaction by about 3%, so maybe they were just quite thirsty. It's nuts how slow this thing is though in comparison to like the 787 we were flying yesterday. It's kind of insane. We've got over 3,000 feet left still to climb. Show about the fact we have no ATC, but as I said, it's kind of expected on routes like this. I mean, today actually, Vatsim is especially empty. I don't know why. There's no ATC pretty much in the whole of the UK, apart from a few ground controllers and Stansted approach. And Brussels Centre are online, and that's literally it. So there is very little in the way of proper ATC anywhere in Europe or anywhere. I mean, I should think there's probably some more, yeah, over Asia, like Ho Chi Minh and areas like that. There's a lot of ATC. It makes me wonder, I should fly over that part of the world way more. And New Zealand, they're always online. It's just like, it makes me wonder, really, I should fly over New Zealand and Australia more in the mornings. Because it's where they have all the ATC, because of the time of day. They like, because a lot of people like doing flights in the evening. So the controllers tend to control in the evening time zone for them. But I do it in the morning quite often. So I need to go, I need to fly where it's evening, which is Australia and New Zealand. little altitude. Hold on, I'm just checking the time. The time is literally bang on between the sim and the game. The sim's probably like 5 seconds ahead of real world time. It's nuts. Never timed it that well. Right, we're up to 360 now. We're only going to be here until... I don't know, have a look at the... I'm going to look now at the path, the altitude path. So we're going to be... Yeah, so after Genio, we're going to go up to 360, and then after Labro, we're going to go down to 350. So it's a bit weird, but that's how we're doing it today. We have now reached cruising altitude, and hopefully the passengers. Unfortunately, couldn't get rid of the air sound from that, so it does sound a bit weird. Sounds like you're inside a real plane. I'm probably going to stick to the default sounds, honestly. I think I prefer them. My plane is trimming back now a little bit. Can't wait for this announcement to be over because I hate that air sound. It's very loud and it's in a sim, like, it doesn't make sense. It feels like I'm in the sky and I'm not. It's weird. Satisfaction's going up pretty nicely. Now we're at cruise and we're serving some drinks and everything like that. Hopefully they'll want some food as well. We're not allowed to serve food just yet, but hopefully soon. How long is this announcement? It's like the world's longest announcement. Should we look at them serving drinks back there? See all the cabin crew serving everyone's drinks. Unfortunately, some people are still left out, but whatever. There's no premium cabin on Ryanair, but you know, whatever. There you go. Finally, that announcement's ended. That's one of the world's. Oh. Advertisements. Oh no. No. Escape from the advertisements. Bye. Oh dear. That's our route today though, it is literally just a straight line. It's almost quite funny really. .25 miles left to run to Gibraltar, so we've still got quite a while. I'm hoping these announcements will stop soon. How many announcements do we need to tell us that we're at cruise? So I'm going to stick to using the default sound pack after this, I think. We've got 100 miles to Otaro. There you go, it's ended that announcement. Hopefully it can stay that way. Quite nice. Like, literally, almost all our announcements are, almost all our waypoints are just the RNAV look. You know, let's have a detailed look at the RNAV now. So, put it down, so we can head from Pimos, and then we turn round left. Let's have a look at the chart and compare it. So, the chart is a little less obvious. The chart just heads from GB 270 straight to 272. These are the waypoints are put in by the plane to help it get the exact arc. It's quite clever. Pilots using this chart must refer to 10.9A. Okay, 10. 9A. So there's another chart we need to look at. Here you go. RNAV requirements. That's all fine. Right, we're all good then. Looking at the RNAV, yeah, it just heads straight in, and then we head to Cook's Ops, which is where it starts. Little sneeze. And then from there, it's actually quite a nice approach, really. It's quite a simple approach. We've got to be 210 knots at Cook's Ops, 160 at GB27F. That's all fine. And we're all fine. So, we need to be, so there we go. I don't know which RNAV we're taking, so I can't actually judge. You've got RNAV 0.12, 0.2 and 0.3, and it decides our minimums. Does it say anywhere on the chart which one this is? All of them say required until GBM 03. That says RNP 0.3. So I'm guessing we're taking the 03, yeah? 0.3. That's our missed approach. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. That's what I'll use as minimums then, I guess. So I'm also using the highest thing as minimums is generally the better idea. So 1194, which is 1,183 above the ground. Luckily there is no there's not really any cloud in Gibraltar today, so we should be okay with that high minimums. Perfect. Okay, we're looking good then for our arrival. Everything's looking good. We need to be... Actually, never mind. It says it on the chart what the minimums are. What I bother looking at the... I need to do this first. I always forget. One thing I need to work on. Sometimes in charts, it tells you minimums down here of a number of different kinds of minimums. But if there's a select minimums it wants you to use, it puts it here. This is like, so you look at RNAV and it gives you, this is like the key information of this chart. Okay, this is the key information. So you can see Gibraltar approach, frequencies, Gibraltar other frequencies, Gibraltar tower frequency. You can then see the type of approach, it's an RNAV. Final approach course, 269. Mandatory altitude, if there's any one, if there's any waypoint where you need to be at exact altitude, there, 1500 feet. And there's the minimums, followed by the airport elevation and the runway elevation. So, yeah. So 465 is the minimums. Not that high number. That's a little bit better. Makes a little more sense. Now I'm wondering, I think we'll be okay with auto brakes too. But I don't want to be too certain. Like, I mean, it's 5,830 feet. So it's 3,200 feet shorter. No, 3,300 feet shorter than the one in Cagliari. So You know what, I'm going to go walk brakes 2 and full reversers. You know, if need be, I can just use manual brakes, which are stronger than auto brakes 3 anyway, so we'll probably do that. Because I don't want to, you know, kill the passengers too much. We can't serve food on this flight for some reason. Who knows why. Right, we'll set our landing speed now. Currently it's 143, that probably will change. Fuel imbalance is looking all fine. Honestly, ever since that happened flying to Cagliari, every single flight with this thing now, I'm just alert about a fuel imbalance. Obviously, it's always good to keep an eye on it. You know, that's one thing I have learned from it. It's always good to keep an eye. Hello in the chat. Hope you're enjoying. Satisfaction level is now quite high. I would like to serve some food. We have got quite a few hungry passengers on board, but unfortunately we can't serve food, and there are a few anxious people on board. I don't know why, they think it was a bit steep, our climb out, a lot of passengers. However, some passengers didn't really mind, so who knows. I don't know, I think maybe our climb out was a little too steep, but you know, I can get rid of the navgraph chart now. Don't need that to still be there. Heading for the tower, remember at Genio we need to go up to 360 and then back down to 350 at Labro. Who knows why? Maybe it's a wind thing, maybe it is like a direction of travel thing. Actually, it probably isn't a direction of travel thing, because we're doing the same, pretty much the same direction of travel, so who knows? Who knows? We have now got another plane at Gibraltar. No, spawning in from Gibraltar. It's currently on the ground in Rome, though. So, it's flying even longer distance than ours. It's an Alitalia. Alitalia 258, no problem. There's a long gap between us. Hasn't even taken off from Rome, and I'm, you know, already over the sea, halfway, you know. We should just miss out the island of Palma and the island of Ibiza. We're going to head over the coast of Spain before descending into Gibraltar, so it's a pretty nice approach. You know, it's why I'm doing this flight today. I want to check out Gibraltar. We've done Innsbruck, now it's time to do Gibraltar. The only others that are sort of this hard, you've got things like, generally a lot of them are closed now, like Quito, I think, is Quito closed? And Kaitak. Kaitak is definitely closed. I don't know about Quito. Is Quito closed? Or is it still open? I think it's actually open. No, the new Quito. The old one, I believe, is closed. Yeah. Because what it was in the middle, it was a very short runway in the middle of the city and large planes flew there, so there was a lot of problems with it. Which is why they've caused... Yeah, it's why they shut it, basically. Who knows? Anyway, yeah, so it is shut. So yeah, a lot of the hard approaches, like you've got Innsbruck, Gibraltar. Then we can actually, let's look it up. Hard approaches Europe. Here we go. So Innsbruck is number 1. Mexico, Rio, Gibraltar is 4th. Mahe San Francisco. Oh, Madeira. We haven't done Madeira. And London City. London City is a bit difficult. We'll do Madeira. Funchal. I haven't done that yet, but that is quite a difficult airport as well. So we'll definitely do. We'll try and do Madeira. It's quite a long flight from the UK though, or anywhere like that. We might have to fly down to because it's in the Canaries, I believe. Yeah, it's in the Canaries. So maybe we could fly down there directly, but it would be about 3.5 hours. So maybe it'd be a better idea to do maybe a flight to like. Actually, we could fly to Oviedo. I've been meaning to fly to Oviedo, and then from Oviedo we could fly to Madeira. Maybe we'll do that in a few weeks. That sounds pretty good. And we're back to the flight. Should we have a little check in on our passengers, make sure they're all behaving themselves. Just want to make sure they click. There we go. I'll bring it back to this nice view, and then we can have a look at what's going on. So we've got no one's bored. That's nice. That's very good. No one's below 60. Hopefully, no one's below 60. 60 is like the minimum, I think, in this game. How long till we arrive? What have I checked now? 1 hour and 1 hour and 20 minutes, let's say. I think 1 hour 20 sounds about right. It's around about a 2-hour flight today, so and we're 35 minutes in. So we're just cruising over the sea right now, over the Mediterranean. We should see Palma off to our right. I think that's Palma. Palma de Mallorca. That's Palma there, I think. Flying down to Gibraltar. It's a very exciting approach. If maybe come back and join for that if you can't stay for the whole hour and 20 minutes. But yeah, we're climbing up to 360 at Genio, then back down to 350 at Labro. It's a bit of an odd one, that. I don't know why we're doing that, but we are. It's pretty much a straight route. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, maybe it's a wind thing as well. It could be beneficial to the winds. We'll check the weather down in Gibraltar now, actually. It has updated. It's currently 250 at 5 knots. So perfect for a runway 27. 22 degrees, that's nice and warm. And just what we want to hear for an Arnhem approach. Absolutely no clouds. It's a very clear day. They have got a visual approach you can do as well. So maybe I'll take a look at that as well. Visual approach, you're heading from... It's a bit of a weird airport as well, Gibraltar. Because of... No, you need to follow a radar approach before anyway. It's a bit of a weird airport, Gibraltar, because you've got civil approaches and military approaches. They're different things, which is kind of quite unbelievable. It's because Gibraltar is a pretty big military airport, being the only airport in the whole of Gibraltar. That's kind of why it's such an odd shape, because Gibraltar is a very small country. I have been there. It's a very nice place, but it is absolutely tiny. You know, it's one of those things. It's just one little city. But yeah, we hopefully got to see the Gibraltar Rock when we arrive. I don't know whether it's modelled in flights, and I have got some scenery installed for Gibraltar, and it is very nice scenery. So hopefully it works well. I have tested it out before. I got it a few weeks ago actually. It is free scenery. It's like the Cagliari one, where instead of it's a default airport that's been tuned, it is a new airport. It's great. I mean, Gibraltar, because the thing is, you have to get scenery for Gibraltar in flights, and it's not like other airports where you can sort of pass it. Because Gibraltar Airport was literally just a little GA field when FSX came out. So there's only like 2 or 3 GA stands and nothing else really. A very short runway. I think it was extended a slight bit, possibly. So it's terrible scenery, but now the scenery is a lot better. Whether you can see the road crossing over it, I don't know. Might be able to, might not be able to. I don't really know. Who knows? Which should be pretty good. Oh, we'll set the heading round to what we're currently heading in. No ATC at the moment, unfortunately, but never mind. The plane heading to Gibraltar has not yet departed Rome Fiumicino Airport. So, yeah, we'll probably be disconnected by the time it gets there, I should think. And sadly for us, no ATC, no Eurocontrol, no nothing, unfortunately. We are sort of skimming between European airspace and African airspace, because we are briefly in Algeria airspace. However, I think we are not really in that anymore, because obviously we are heading, I mean, we can't see it. But to the left of the aircraft, we should be able to see, we can't see it, but it's a bit far, but Africa, over there, Algeria, and then over there is Palma, Menorca, and Ibiza should be somewhere over there. It's a little bit further along. And then we should start to get the coast of Spain into view just after the waypoint of Labro. So it's a very nice little flight. Quite a bit of sea to look at, but overall it's pretty nice. Satisfaction of the passengers could be improved a little bit, but unfortunately it does appear that for whatever reason we can't serve them food or alcohol on this flight. So that's it really. Can't really do anything about that. Who knows why? Seems like it makes it up sometimes. You see, our flight yesterday got C- after the turbulence, but overall it was not bad. All my flights there, it's quite cool, I think. You can see my average landing rate is around the 280 area. I suspect we'll have something similar about today as well. I should think. Passengers are nice, 77% satisfied. Look at that, they're very happy people. It's constantly going up as well, very slowly, but at least it's going upwards. That's the main thing. Only just under 500 miles to Gibraltar. We're descending in 350 miles. We're descending. Well, we can do a little sum to work that out. I do need a sum for this because it's so 486 minus 3. Is it 55, will it be? Yeah. 130 miles out, that's perfect. Remember, we do need to be at 9,000. Is it at 9,000 at Pimos? Yes. Unless ATC gives clearance otherwise. We're approaching Genoa where we need to go up to 360. So if I put into the cruise, step to 360, it should. Set point. Why doesn't it let me put that in? What if I try putting in 0849 Zulu? Seriously, how does he put it in? How does he tell it? I don't want to step now. Did I? Oh wow, I just got 90 subs, did I? Oh yes, that's nice. Thank you to whoever the 90th subscriber was. That's nice. Right, how to plan step climbs? Because obviously I know how to do it in the 787. You put in an S, but that doesn't work on the 737. You put in an S, And it says invalid entry. Yeah, so basically you just need to put it into the FMC and it does it when it wants. It's one of those things basically, you just have to, it just does it itself. So so basically if I turn this up to 360, look. Apparently I was going to enter it, but I didn't do that. But yeah, hopefully when I put 360 it will just climb up to 360 and then back down to 350 then at Genio. Because like, so this is what I do in the, this is what I do in the 787, I put that and it says invalid entry. Unfortunately. So never mind. Right, I'll step now, and then we'll be back down at Labro. And then this thing will step when it wants to, I guess. It doesn't work, does it, putting in a step climb? Hello, plane. It's like the 787, it just sits here ignoring it. There. It entered it in there. So enter in 360 and it should now start climbing in time for the Genio. And back down to 350 then afterwards. So this is going to do a very slow climb up to 360. We'll be there until Labro. And then back down to 350. Who knows why it's like that, but it's what I was told to do, so I'm doing it. I'm guessing it's probably a restriction of, you know, you need to be at an even flight level here and an odd flight level there. It's probably that. Doesn't really explain why though. Right, up to 36,000, yes, we'll be here now for about 80 miles and then straight back down. It's kind of pointless in that sense, but no mind, I guess. It might be a wind thing, it might be a restriction thing in the airways, no direct, like, direction of travel, who knows? I'm not arguing with it. What I'm wondering as well is if we descend to 350, is this thing going to tell us? But actually, what if I put 350 at Labro? This thing just thinks we have to start our descent. That's the problem. It just assumes, it's like the Airbus. It just assumes that you have to start your descent then. For a moment I was saying there's no descent path after Pinmos, it keeps saying that, but I think it's okay really. We have to be at 9,000, so it must be okay. The descent altitude looks pretty good. Stop moaning at us plane. So yeah, 360 then down to 350 at Labro. Okay. I'm hoping when we go down to 350 it doesn't activate like the top of descent announcement. Hopefully it won't. So I would like to serve the passengers some food, but it doesn't appear that we can. For some strange, unusual reason. We're not allowed to serve them food, guys. Who knows why, but we're not allowed to serve them food. Or alcohol. Only drinks. Only hot drinks. One thing that does get me is, well, you can't serve cold drinks. Like, what if someone wanted, like, water? or lemonade, or cola. You've only got, this is like tea and coffee, and this is like beer and wine. Well, where's the in-between? Not in-between, like where's the, you know, where's your cola, where's your lemonade, where's your water, where's your squash? There's none of it. Unless this is food and drink, but I think it's just food. So, hang on a minute. Is that a slight bug? No, I mean it's because I'm in a 160 mile range, not 80. That's why. I thought I was in 80 mile range then. So I was like, oh, it's only 80 miles to Labro. Why was I saying 107? But no, it's fine. The plane that's heading for Gibraltar in Rome hasn't actually taken off yet, so yeah, we'll be well disconnected by the time it even gets to Gibraltar. That plane. So no need to faff around with Unicom. There's nothing else heading for Gibraltar. Weather on Gibraltar, we should get some new weather in about 10 minutes, I should think. We might use that for landing weather, I don't know. Probably not actually, it's still 40 minutes until we have to descend, so we've still got quite a while to go. It is a nice plane, this. But I think the Ryanair livery does look quite nice. I don't often fly Ryanair. Also, I'm just going to check. I can't remember whether I had a Ryanair thumbnail for this thing, because I was thinking, I don't actually think I've got a Ryanair thumbnail. So I'm just going to check now. No, I don't have a Ryanair thumbnail. I use a Delta thumbnail. Okay, let's take one then. Get a good thumbnail. I was actually kind of shocked that I didn't have a Ryanair thumbnail. Like, I fly Ryanair quite a lot, so it's quite surprising I don't have a thumbnail. Right, there we go, that's a good thumbnail, isn't it? You can see land in the background. There. There we go, that's taken. I can put that next to me fly Ryanair now. It'll probably be quite a while before we fly Ryanair again now, but, you know. Who knows? It's one of those things, I guess, isn't it? Somehow I haven't taken the thumbnail of Ryanair. Probably that I do often forget. It's quite a common thing for me to forget. So, that's probably what it is. Everything's looking good up there. The fuels are looking good. In fact, that imbalance has slightly sorted itself out as well. It was only a teeny little imbalance anyway, so there it is. But it's so small, there's just no problem. It's only when it's a large imbalance, like noticeable, that it's an issue. So yeah, who knows? It must have been a bug when we flew from Gatwick to Cagliari then, on Thursday. It must have just been a bit of an old bug that only occurred once for some reason. Who knows? Honestly. Who knows? Not bad. 400 miles now until Gibraltar. Not bad. So going pretty quick, really. We've already done half of the distance to Gibraltar, so it is. I mean, it's not as quick as the 787 this, but it's still pretty good. I mean, we're doing 436 knots ground speed compared to like the 490, 480 knots we'd probably be doing in the 787. So overall, it's a little bit slower, but it's still pretty good. We'll check our landing speed. I haven't done that. There we go. I would like to try and get that landing speed down as much as possible for the short runway, but you know, that's how it is. Passengers are nice and happy. 80%, pretty good. So I think I could probably raise their satisfaction a little bit more if we could serve them drinks. No, not drinks, food, but we can't serve them food. If you look at Hunger Look, there are a good few people who could do with some food. There's no one who's thirsty, really, so we're all fine on that front. No one's that anxious. Overall satisfaction is a bit mixed. There are a few people, and it is mainly down to hunger, I think. And they're a little bit anxious, a little bit hungry. It's a mixture of anxiousness and hungriness. It's coming together to make not the best satisfaction level. But 81%, I said it's still pretty high. They were like 85, I think, when they got on, or something like that. We'll just say if we're going to be late. So we're due in 1 hour, pretty much. We're due in 1 hour and 38, so we're going to be quite early. So that's fine. All good. There, no need to tell them about any delay. It's because that uses scheduled block time. That's how it calculates it. It's scheduled block time. And scheduled block time is 2 hours and 40 today, and the flight is only going to be taking us 2 hours and 28. So, you know, we've got 12 minutes to spare, plus the fact that, you know, unlike in Frankfurt, where it does take 20 minutes to taxi, which is what SimBrief plans, it doesn't take 20 minutes to taxi in Cagliari. It took, what, 5 to 10, probably? That's including pushback, so probably about 7 minutes, maybe. Including pushback, it's nothing compared to 20. However, in Frankfurt, it took 27, so it was actually above. Actually, in fact, we can view it. Taxi time was 8 minutes, yeah. In Frankfurt, that number was 27. So, yeah. Yeah, all 184 of them are pretty happy back there. Very full today. That's pretty full for a 737. It is pretty full. But it's Ryanair and they pack their seats in tight. Because why wouldn't you if you're Ryanair? We've got the new FIFA Gibraltar yet? Not yet. I will check the meta because it might be one of those. It has only been 7 minutes since it should have been released. There's normally a longer delay on that. No, yeah, the new meta's not even out yet, so we're still waiting for that. We're approaching Labro quite soon, where we are going to go back down to 350. Who knows why that happens? It's just how it is. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Satisfaction is slowly rising, very slowly, but it is rising, which is important. No weather on the weather radar. It's all looking all good. It's all looking great. Very clear skies today, really. I mean, there's Africa over there to our left. I can briefly just see. We should be able to see Spain pretty soon. Not quite yet. We need to be a little bit further after Labro to be able to see it, I think. Yeah, and you can see from my overlay, look, direct distance to Gibraltar is 361 miles. We've got 370 to go, so we are pretty much going exactly direct to Gibraltar. It's not. It's because there's no stars in Gibraltar and things. This is how all the approaches work. Both approaches start from Pimos. You know, that's where both of them start. That's pretty good. Well, they're talking about a different Ryanair, I think. Where is that? Eurowings. yeah, Eurowings 94 Tango. It's on the ground in Palma. There's a Ryanair that's probably just spawned on top of a Eurowings. Oh, you've got to love it, haven't you? That always happens, honestly. Oh, yes, we're allowed to serve food. That's massively shot up their satisfaction. It's going to say, so finally the cabin crew have actually been allowed to serve food, which is good. We have needed a food service on this flight. And they have been permitted to do so, which is good. That's going to probably put up our satisfaction rating quite a bit. I think it was the food that some passengers did really need. And the flight in Rome still hasn't left, so yeah, we've got absolutely ages. We're in the air an hour now. Of course, we are descending to 35,000 in about 30 miles, and then it'll just be until our top of descent then, which will be another half hour or so. We should be able to see Spain pretty soon. There's Africa. It's coming into view a little bit better now. Right now we are in the heading of slightly heading towards Africa. Not quite. We're not heading in direct to Gibraltar right now. I want to turn right. That's closer to Gibraltar then. Bit of an odd flight really, this one. Like every single waypoint is direct. Literally every single one. It is a little bit strange. It's not normal. You know, that's how it is. Yeah, the passengers are way happy about being served food. Look at that. They're happy. That satisfaction up to 90%, please. For look, hunger, there were quite a few hungry passengers. All those hungry passengers finally getting served. I think they are pretty happy about it if we look at the rising satisfaction level. It's rising quite quickly, which is nice. And they start off around the 85% level, so that's all good. All great. Minus 24 up here, so again, not that cold. It's still quite cold, but it's not too bad. It's been worse. Right, we had new weather for Gibraltar. No, we haven't. I'll check the METAR, and it has updated. Winds are now 210 at 4 knots, 24 degrees. For some reason, yeah, it is constantly... the wind seems to be constantly changing in the direction of a 09 approach. At the moment, it is still in favour of a 27. I can't really change my... I can change the approach, luckily, because of the fact that it's not different, really, whether we use a 09. Also, there's a remark at the end of the METAR saying blue. I don't know what that means. BLU. Meaning in METAR. It means blue. What? Well, it literally just means blue. Really? It just means blue. Oh! It's an RAF code. Well, that explains it. Because it is a military base. It's to do with the weather. It's an RAF code. Oh, it's not related to us then. I do forget that, I think, because obviously, as I said, Gibraltar is used by the military. So it would make sense that they had a military code of some kind in their METAR. Yeah, the METAR for us is 24 degrees to the point of 14. QNH is 1021. That hasn't been changing, so I'll preset that. How did it already know? I think I just scrolled to it from 1017 quite quickly. Right, there's Labra, so we can now descend to 350. Back to our original cruise altitude now. Execute that. And this thing's going to make the descent down to 350 now, it should. Is it going to? Or does it not want to? Hello, plane. Is it waiting until after Labro to do it? I think he might be waiting until after Labro, interestingly. Plane, you're going to start descending soon. It looks like the plane doesn't want to descend. Is he going to do it after Labro? Plane? You're meant to be descending. Right, solution to this. Quite literally, we put it in altitude hold mode. No, not altitude hold. Right, re-enable VNav. Yay! Turn VNav off and on. That's how it always works. You just turn it off and on again. And that magically works. With everything. I'm hoping the game doesn't think I'm at the top of descent, because obviously we're not. It's taking them a while to serve food back there. So obviously it's just a little bit weird, but it's how we're doing it today. We're going up and then back down. We're going to be at 3509 until the end of the flight in 186 miles. Is where we're going to start descending. And the new weather for Gibraltar will be in place just as we start descending, I should think. We go down to 350 now. It's back to cruise. Back to our initial cruise altitude from earlier, this is. So I have no idea why we needed to go, like, up then down, but we just did. We're now heading away from Africa. We're heading towards Spain. There's Spain, look. Over there, you can see it. We're going to pass directly over the land at AMR, because it's the Almeria VOR. And then we head along the coast a little bit. Instead of following the coast, we sort of head along it. This should be a pretty nice final stage of flight. So we're going to be descending after AMR, like about 30 miles after AMR, we're going to be descending. It means we're at 9,000 at Pimos, and then from there, basically just quite a steep descent by the looks of it. Possibly down into Gibraltar. We've already got the transition level plugged in with 6,000, the transition altitude, obviously the level done by ATC, there's no ATC so we can't say that. Crew are very busy at the moment, serving everyone food. You can see the food now most people have been served has massively rocketed up satisfaction. If we can serve alcohol, I will serve some, because you know it's quite nice to serve a little bit of everything on the flight. It often can boost satisfaction quite a bit. So if I can do that, it would be quite nice. And there is actually now a plane on the ground in Gibraltar, Echo 7, Delta Juliet Hotel. It's a TBM 9. I ain't got no clue what that is. I'm guessing it's a business jet of some kind. It is IFR. It is going to VJF direct upon departure. It's just spawned in, so I have no idea. It's flying to La Rochelle in France, so yes. There's no SIDS out of Gibraltar, I don't believe. Are there SIDS in Gibraltar? I don't think there are. No, there's no SID charts at all, so I can't tell what it's doing. Who knows what it's doing? Yeah, 130 miles left to run until the Almeria VOR. Shortly after that, we will be descending into Gibraltar. Everything's all set up for our arrival. We will get some new weather through in about 20 minutes, and that will be the weather that we use to fly into Gibraltar with, so hopefully it doesn't go any further in the direction of 090. I will take the forecast. The forecast is looking like the weather is going to shift towards runway 9 in about 4 hours. So the weather is shifting in that direction. So, who knows? Obviously, we're not flying in there in 4 hours' time, but... Because I believe we were initially planning runway 09 as well. I think SimBrief did give us 09. Weirdly. Yeah, it did. SimBrief initially said we'd have to land on 09. So yeah, 88 miles, no, I don't know why I said 88 miles, that was random. Yeah, we're planning runway 27, and we'll have to contact the plane on the ground in Gibraltar to see what runway it's planning, maybe. Because it doesn't mention it on its plan. Obviously the winds are in favour of a 27. I will check flight radar just to make sure I'm not messing anything up. So let's go over to flight radar. And we'll give it a check versus the charts. So if you search LXGB, we should see it pop up. It'll bring us over to it now on the map. And I don't think a plane's even going in here. No, planes aren't actually flying into Gibraltar. Is there anything on the ground we can use? No. Oh well. We can't check flight radar then because there's nothing flying in and out. So, who knows what runway they're using in real life? It's closed, I think. Looking at that, in terms of commercial flights anyway. That's amazing. The plane in Rome has been online for an hour now, and it's still offline. It still hasn't taken off. How does it take an hour to take off? It confuses me. Like, it takes me about, what, 25 minutes, half an hour, probably, from connecting to the network to pushing back and taking off. Who knows? Anyway, we can now see the coast of Spain a little bit clearer, and the coast of Africa. This is where they start to get really close together. Gibraltar is where they almost touch the coast of Africa and Spain/Gibraltar. They're very close to each other. I think doesn't it also turn into Portugal? No, that's a little bit later on where it turns into Portugal. It is still Spain. Oh, they're serving alcohol now. Well, they have decided to do that, so that's pushed up the satisfaction quite a bit. It's up to 90% now, which is proper good. A little bit of wing flex there, so maybe a little bit bumpy. Everything's all looking fine now, no problem. Right, yes, we're approaching Gibraltar quite soon. Can't be too long until our descent. Nope. 120 miles, not long. About 15 minutes. We should get some new weather in around about 15 minutes as well. So that's perfect. Our descent path won't change, I don't think. But at least initially it won't change if we swap over to a runway 09. Because you still need to be at 9,000. No. There's no restriction. That's a missed approach. Pitmoss has a little 2 dotted next to it, so I need to look for a 2 on the chart. Flight level 090, yeah. So you need to be at flight level 90 still at Pitmoss, no matter what, and then you head from Pitmoss into to Bugov, and then you start an arc in the same way. It's a lot shorter approach though. There's a turn on pretty much short final for runway 09, so it is better if we can use 27. So it's all fine then. There is a little 1 as well dashed next to it, but there isn't anywhere on the chart from what I can see that says what 1 means. Minimum is 100 feet lower on 09. It's a little bit, it's a very complicated final bit of approach. There's like a 1 mile final, so 27 is definitely the better arrival to do. It's the one that doesn't involve avoiding anything, so it's a bit more of a normal approach. So I would rather we use 27, it's easier and quicker. But luckily it doesn't affect our descent path because we still need to be at 9,000 at Pitmoss either way. So if it does have to change, it won't mess us up too badly. They finished serving alcohol, everyone's satisfaction is pretty good now, 91%. We are now approaching Almeria, so we are going to actually fly over the land now, a little bit, which is quite nice. Oh, there you go, the plane from Gibraltar just took off, and it took off using 27 by the looks of it. So yeah, that confirms 27, at least on Vatsim. Doesn't mean there'll be no traffic, so we don't need to report a Unicom then. It will already be out of the way by the time we get there. So pretty good. London Control is now all online, so this is when it starts getting busy over in... And it's London West Centre, that's the rare one. One that's not normally active. Anyway, yeah, we're heading over to Gibraltar. I will check on what that plane departing Gibraltar's done. It's turning out and then gone to a left turn straight after departure. But it's at 2,000 feet now, so it's no problem for us. So in a way, it doesn't really matter what runway we use. I would rather the winds do shift slightly closer to a 27 to avoid the crosswind. However, it is only a 4-knot wind, to be fair, so the fact that it's only 4 knots, it's not that strong, which is quite nice. QH at the moment is 1021, so a little bit of a high pressure, but not that high. I almost crossed off active sky instead of minimising it. Luckily it asks you if you want to cross it off when your simulator's connected, so... Also, I could just restart it, but it could lag out my sim a little bit when it was starting. It wouldn't matter too much, but it might cause some weirdness. You'll probably get a wind shear alert and things because of the different wind directions. Obviously, there's a set wind direction, which is like 270 at 25 knots, is like a rough FSX cruise wind, and it doesn't change no matter where you are. It's always between 250 and 280, and it's always 25 knots. And on the ground, it's always calm. Bit of a shame in that way, but you know, that's how it is. And that plane that's part of Gibraltar, it's not at 6,000 feet, so it's safely out of our way if we want to descend into Gibraltar. The plane from Rome has now actually taken off. Taken ages. It's just climbing out of Rome now, so obviously I will definitely be disconnected by the time it gets over here, because I've only got 75 miles till descent. You can see it popping up there. So, not long to go for me. Not long to go for this flight. Fuel's all looking good. Perfect. That's what I want to see. Only a very slight lip imbalance, which is no problem. So all good. Not bad, we're doing pretty good so far. 38 miles to Almeria, we can now see the Spanish coast all the way along. We can't really see Africa that much anymore, we are a little bit further away. Africa does start to curve this way though, with Spain. But yeah, finally we can actually see some land. Satisfaction of the passengers is up at 92%, they're very happy people at the moment, which is always good. We aim to make people happy on the at Ryanair, and also, you know, Gibraltar's the perfect airline. I mean, even though Ryanair don't fly to Gibraltar, it's the perfect airport to be flying Ryanair at because, well, it's got hard landings. You know, hard landings equal Ryanair, so perfect. I just know it's on Vatsim. They're flying from Lisbon to Tenerife, and they've ticked the heavy box for A319. Oh wow! Yeah, A319 isn't heavy. Who knows? I've got 50 miles to go now until total percent. Yeah, 50. Look at it being in Gibraltar in about 35 minutes time. So we're going to be about half hour early at least. We're going to be nice and early. So no problem there. Looks quite nice over there. You can see the whole of Spain. We are flying directly along the coast for a little bit, and then it sort of veers off that way, and we're back over the sea. I'm passing over Almeria now, so if we look down there we should see a town of some kind. There's Almeria there. The VOR might be... The VOR is slightly short of that. It might be attached to an airport. So I don't see the airport down there, so maybe not. But yeah, there is it a city Almeria or is it like a town? I'm not sure. It may be a city. If I just search Almeria, it should tell me. Wait, on Google it says it underneath. City in Spain, yeah, it is a city. Nice. Got a population around 700,000. Okay, pretty big city then actually, 700,000 people in 2019. And you can see, yeah, the VOR is obviously linked to an airport because that's Almeria Airport, obviously. That's what happens when you get to fault scenery. I haven't got scenery from Almeria because I haven't flown into it, but you can see there it's very basic. By the looks of it, a lot of GA stands and things. I suspect in real life it's probably more than that by now. We're a little bit out of range of the city at the moment, so it looks a little bit pixely. We are also using quite low texture settings, not that it makes any difference, honestly. It really doesn't seem to make any difference about how your FSX looks, whether it's high texture or low texture, it literally looks the same. Because as we get closer to it, it will get less pixely. And now the scenery is not what we go for, so there's the little turn, and you can see we are directly pretty much over the airport. And we're now heading to Pimos, which is obviously our initial approach fix in Gibraltar. So we are approaching descent in 25 miles. Perfect. Have a look at the new weather through for Gibraltar? No, not yet. It should be here very soon. I'll check it just before we descend. And altitude, this can go down to 9,000 now. Going pretty quickly now. I've got a little bit of a headwind, which is tailwind. I mean, which is quite nice. You can see now we've got closer to Almeria. It's got a little less, well, pixely in parts. It's a bit of an old thing. It's FSX. We'll ignore it. Right, 20 miles till descent now. Passengers are very happy. 93%, and it tends to go up when you start descending. Passengers often get very happy when you start descending. I have no idea why, but they're just like, woohoo, we're descending, we're off this plane. It's like that. Well, I'm hoping we can get that new weather before we start descending. Not yet, no. We're still 15 miles away, to be fair, so we've got a little bit of time. You see, we're heading back on the sea now a little bit. We're not going that far away, though. We should see Africa pop up quite soon. There it is, but we'll start to sort of get close. Is that a cloud down there? Or is that, it looks like an island almost. I think it's a cloud. But it must be a cloud, because there's no island there. Or at least not according to the map. There might be one. I mean, it is very small. But you can see we're approaching our descent now. So it is time to descend. Satisfaction is still going up, which is nice. Very slowly now, because people are pretty much content, I think, with the flight. They're all good. Actually, I didn't have a look at who has stupid amounts of luggage. 53 kilos, that's quite a lot. The most I've ever seen is 67. That's the most amount I've ever seen. And honestly, I don't think I'm going to... 64.5, and he's 77. What? That's even more crazy than the other one. That's a lot of luggage, and he's 77. How does that make any sense? It is randomised, but there needs to be some sort of algorithm there. It's so dumb. Right, the weather hasn't refreshed for Gibraltar, so that's it, I guess. We'll have to wait past our descent, because here it is. There's our descent, and it is going to tell us there's a steep descent after Pimos. Oh wow. Right, down to 9,000, did 105 miles. So it's a nice steady descent for now. And down we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the cockpit, you may have noticed we have just begun descending to our destination. We're not expecting any delay at this time, so should have you on the ground in the next 20 minutes or so. If you could assist the cabin crew by tidying the tray and hand them any letters to come around, that would be most appreciated. And please make sure to fasten your seatbelts. For safety reasons, please turn off all electronic devices or switch to the airplane mode until after we've landed. Please also note that the aircraft toilets will shortly be out of use. Thank you.
Okay, cool. We are now starting to descend. All descending to 2,000 feet. It's a pretty quick descender, this thing. Can be. No ATC, unfortunately, in or around Gibraltar, so never mind. That's that. Oh, come on. Italian controllers online. And they only cover a tiny bit of Cagliari, so it's not really much of an issue. But still, really, it's a little bit annoying, no? It's not at all annoying. I mean, it's only just now. We left Cagliari about an hour and a half ago, so it's not really the biggest loss. And down we go then. Passengers are all happy. We're sticking to our descent profile. 120 miles from Gibraltar. I'm just going to chew up those miles now. No speed restrictions, no nothing until we reach 9,000 feet. And begin the on-nav approach. Everything is all good. I will just check our arrival speed. Stand 1 notch. Right, we'll just check descent checklist. Landing altitude has been set. Anti-ice, we don't need it. Approach briefing and fuel. Fuel's looking good. Approach, taking the RNAV. Landing speed and minimums are set. Approach, there's nothing to do there, so everything is all good and ready to go. QNH should still be 1021. Haven't got the new weather 3 for Gibraltar yet. No. Okay, it doesn't look like we're going to have it. Is it hourly then, or... I mean, it didn't used to be hourly, who knows? We've already started our descent now, so... There we go. Yeah, descending over the coast of Spain. Our contrail should still be with us at the moment, however it will go away, I should think, pretty soon. As we descend. It's gone pretty quickly, this flight, really. It's been pretty fun. Pretty good fun. I've probably spent an insane amount of time now on... Yes, 800 hours I'm approaching on the flight sim, so... Pretty nuts. Honestly. Very nuts. Less than 28,000, so we have not too long left to run. About 19,000 feet. We are 19,000 feet to descend to Pimos in 77 miles. We can see it popping up on there. Now I'm going to turn it down to 40 nautical mile range, otherwise it's going to get very packed on my map quite quickly. So it's a pretty steady 1700, 1800 feet per minute descent. You know, it is nice. You know, it's quite a nice calm descent, this really, isn't it, if you think about it. Right, one last check. Is there weather for Gibraltar? Nope, no new weather as of yet. So it's been 15 minutes since the weather should have been cast. It's okay. Active Sky's downloading something. Nope, nothing new. Weird. Okay, it doesn't look like we've forgot anything then. Oh well. It's going to be a runway 27 then. Obviously now. I'd rather not change it now. We're at a bit of a lower altitude. Yeah, right now we're just maintaining 1700 feet per minute the whole way. Satisfaction of the passengers is pretty good. Got nothing approaching Gibraltar, so nothing to say on Unicom. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. $94 miles to run until Gibraltar. Not far now. It's quite nuts really how calm this descent is, just like one waypoint just heading straight down. Transition altitude, remember, is 6,000 at Gibraltar. QNH is currently 1021. Right, come on, one last check for the weather. Yes, it's through. It's exactly the same. Instead of 210 at 4 knots, it's 5 knots. Temperature is 25 instead of 24. No clouds. Yeah, perfect weather. And it's looking, and QNH is still 1021. So it's all perfect for runway 27. The weather hasn't changed. So even after waiting for that weather briefing, it's all good. There is going to be a new weather in about another 25 minutes, but we'll be on the ground by then, or on final approach, and you can't really change where you're landing on final approach, can you? Passing 22,000 feet, we have descended a fair amount now. I mean, it doesn't really look much lower, does it? It looks a bit lower, maybe. You can see there's Africa starting to curve round. That's where they meet. That's Gibraltar. Right on that tip, pretty much. So, yeah, we can pretty much see our destination. I mean, we are only 79 miles away. 79 nautical miles. It's positive temperature outside now. Nice. It's no longer freezing outside then. All lovely weather, not a cloud in sight today. I haven't seen a single cloud anywhere. But yeah, just 48 miles to our initial approach. Thanks. We've got another 11,000 feet still to descend. Then we'll be on the RNAV. There's the mess that is the RNAV approach when it's at 80 nautical mile range. That's why I keep turning it down. Just 70 miles and about 15-ish minutes till Gibraltar now. So not very far. Oh, was that a little bit turbulence? Or I thought I see the plane move up slightly there. Didn't affect the satisfaction of the passengers. That's the main thing, really. I love the descent has actually slowed a little bit. It's more like 1600 feet per minute, 1500 even, rather than 1700 before. I was just thinking, when we did that Singapore relapse, imagine we had self-loading cargo through the turbulence in Ho Chi Minh. That would have been absolutely nuts. But that is actually scary, I think. That's like the sort of turbulence you could possibly classify as scary. It's pretty nuts turbulence, to be fair. Pretty insane. Wasn't the nicest. That's for certain. Well, we should start to see the RNAV starting to appear on our heads-up display here, so I'll have to turn it down to 20 nautical mile range, I think. I wonder why our descent rate has really just dropped off quite a lot. I'll put in the speed brakes as well to help maintain 267 knots, it doesn't really matter actually, we're okay. Down to 20 nautical mile range now. Just 60 miles to Gibraltar, so we should see it up there in the distance we can. Malaga's somewhere over there. I flew there on Friday, just 2 days ago. I flew there. Is that it there, Malaga Airport? Might be. I think that's Malaga Airport. Got a little boat in the water, even though I have them turned off, so amazing that they're still spawning. 16,000 feet now. Passing through 15,000 feet now, 6,000 to go. We can go ahead and turn on our seatbelt signs now. Obviously that won't affect self-loading cargo, it'll just do it at 10,000 like it always does. It will moan at us to say that we are above 250 knots, it's below 10,000 feet. It didn't do that with the 787, but it's done it with the A320 and with this plane, and there doesn't seem to be a way to stop it from doing it, unfortunately. It just says it because it wants to do that. We're passing 14,000 feet now. Satisfaction's going on all the time now. 95% satisfied, that's pretty good. That's above what they were at the start of the flight, so perfect. Passing 13,000 feet now. We'll get the landing lights on in a little bit. Gibraltar Airport is absolutely clear, nothing heading for it at all. So no need to report on Unicom. We can see Pimos coming up now, we're less than 20 miles from it. 45 miles from Gibraltar now. So not very far to go now. We're doing a very slow descent. It's nuts. I don't know why this thing is descending so slowly, but after Pimos it is going to be quite a steep descent. I'll bring up the RNAV chart now so I can view what's going on, make sure the plane's following correctly. And we should start slowing down for 10,000 feet about now. It's going to be a bit of a steep descent from 9,000 into Gibraltar, so I'll keep the speed brakes out through the whole thing. That's for certain. So help us descend as much as we can. We're approaching the slowdown for 10,000 feet now. And down to 10 nautical miles on there, so I can actually see exactly what's going on. Perfect! Right, ready to land now. This thing is going to start slowing itself down to 240 knots for 10,000 feet now. And I want to make sure it does follow that. It's been 9,000 PMOS. We're 36 miles out, so it is going to be quite a steep descent actually. But we need to be at 9,000. It's how the restrictions are. Is that the Gibraltar Rock? I think it may be. It's a bit of a sorry looking thing. It's the texture, I think, maybe that's causing it to look a bit rubbish, but who knows. It looks alright. It's right by the airport actually, I think. Anyway, let's get on with our arrival. I'm going to keep the speed brakes out. Right, 10,000 feet, landing lights can come on now. Come on, play, you can go below 10,000 now. Right, it's going through 10,000 now. And we are below, look, you can see there's the proof. 230 knots, 235, we're way below 250, so if self-loading cargo says that there's an error, that's a bug. Right, let's set this to RNAV height now, 1,500 feet. And this thing will have a bit of a steep descent on its hands, I think, from here, because we've got 29 miles and we've got to descend 9,000 feet, so yeah. A little bit of a steep descent on our hands there, but there's no ATC to clear us below, unfortunately. So that's all we've got. We'll try to just keep the speed brakes out, basically, and do as much as we can. We're past PMOS, so this thing is now going to have a pretty steep descent. We're going to keep the speed brakes out through all of this. There's no speed restrictions, but it is going to start slowing itself down. You know what? In fact, I'm going to take command. If I take manual control of the speed, we'll do 235 knots just to make sure that it doesn't go too quickly. We don't want to go below. We don't want to go above 250 knots if we can't help it. At the moment, we're pretty good on the VNAV path though, and it is following it pretty good.
Cabin crew, please prepare the cabin for landing. Thank you.
See, it is a little bit of a steep descent. Actually, it's not that steep, really. I mean, it said it was very steep, but we're still only doing 1,600 feet per minute. So I'd say it's okay, really. But we're making our way along it now. I'll take out speed intervention now because it wants to slow down. Flaps 2 can come in to help slow us down now. And yeah, this thing is now, it is off course a little bit with its VNAV, but it's slowing down a lot. Well, we'll put in vertical speed now because I need to maintain this. I don't care if we're going a little bit too quickly. I need to maintain what we're doing here. to catch up with that glide, because it is quite a steep descent here in Gibraltar. It's not massively steep, but when you're trying to slow down, it can be quite steep. We're still 18 miles out. It is still moaning at us about a descent path, but you know, as long as we're below 210 knots at Cagliari, it's okay. Catching back up with our descent path now. There you go, standard pressure, and that's just so back to QNH of 1021 now. We're going to have to catch up with our descent path again after all that. Right, we'll tell cabin crew, seats for landing.
Cabin crew, seats for landing, please.
And we are ready to land in Gibraltar. Catching up with our descent path pretty good now, so I can enable VNAV again. I need to start slowing down properly now. This can go to a 5 mile range, so I can actually see what's going on. Come on, plane, start slowing down. We can actually go flaps 5 without. We can do that at 250 knots, I believe. It says there we can do it at 250 knots, so we should be okay for it. Okay, we're below 210 knots at Cagliari. And we are on the path correctly. If I on the approach, is there anything? There is a glide path that you can follow. Cool. We're on the glide path then. We're not on the localizer just yet, but who knows. Right, flaps 10 because we are below 210 knots, so we can use flaps 10. And that's the lowest we can go now without it buzzing at us with the gear. Right, 140 knots. Landing checklist. Everything is all good. We just need to make sure that our engine start switches are in the continuous position. Everything else is ready to go. So we're on the glide path. We're waiting for the localizer, but we're slowing ourselves down pretty good. We're still 9 miles out, so we're on the approach pretty good. See, there's the airport right next to Gibraltar Rock. Maybe not the best look of Gibraltar Rock ever, but you know, it's not quite as beautiful as real life, but could be worse, honestly. We will have to backtrack down most of the runway, I think. This is handed off manual control of the speed to me, so we'll go back to 160 knots. Speed brakes can come in and we'll arm them ready for landing. I'm not going to drop the gear just yet, we're still 7 miles out. Just slowing, and then it'll be down to 140 knots then, which is our landing speed once we're 4 miles out. And the heading can also go around to landing heading. There we go, perfect. We're ready. Winds are totally calm. Look at that. It's 29 degrees outside, so a little bit warmer than it said in the meta or in the weather report of anything. Right, down to 140 knots then, and we can drop the gear. And you can, and also, now, as proof, if this is our tell if it's bugged, we stayed below 250 knots the whole way. Right, flaps full. And we're good on the glide path now. Right, my airplane. And my throttles. Right, let's get ourselves onto the ground. The scenery does look pretty nice, actually. I'm not sure if we'll see the road passing. Right, there's 1,000 feet. I'll get a bit more power to keep it in the air here. At 140 knots. 140 knots is a pretty high landing speed. Don't know why we're doing it. We're in reserves. Reserve fuel was 3.2 So we're perfect on 3.4. Looks quite nice out there. We're pretty much on course with the thing, but we're a little bit slow, so minimums continue. 400. There we go. Right, it's starting to pull back on the throttle a little bit now.
100.
Bang on course now, I just need to flare it correctly.
90.
And get the plane down.
10.
Nice, minus 200 right now. We really try to slow down. Reverse is full and brake. Full braking. And there we go. That was a large amount of braking on that. I did float it a little bit. That wasn't good of me. Why are they cross with me? What? Not on taxiway. How am I not on taxiway? Oh, come on. No. Is it seriously going to yell at me for that? It's going to give me penalty points for that now as well. Not on taxiway. How was I not on taxiway? I maintained on the taxiway the whole time. That's annoyed me. That has annoyed me quite a lot. We've actually lost now a lot of our score from this flight because apparently we didn't remain on the taxiway. I'm pretty sure we remained on the taxiway, self-loading cargo. Think about it, there are an awful lot of bugs in this plug-in. There are quite a few. I don't know why it thinks we exited the taxiway. Oh well. Right, we're going to make a turn to the left is where the civil apron is. We can take any of the gates. We'll take gate 2, I guess. Doesn't really matter which gate we take. Yeah, I'm a little bit annoyed. Unfortunately, we have now lost all of the satisfaction. We probably lost quite a bit of our pilot grade as well. Because apparently we were not on the taxiway. I don't really know where it gets its logic from, because I'm fairly sure we were on the taxiway, weren't we? Never mind. There's the road that crosses Gibraltar. Going to make a left turn now. Yeah, I don't know, that was a bit weird. Is it going to happen when we taxi on to here as well then? Or is it just because it was the backtrack on the runway? It must be because of the surface of the taxiway. They are adding some more surfaces of taxiway. It's based on basically certain surfaces. So maybe if this taxiway isn't classed as a surface that is taxiway. It's not yelling at us here. Oh, who knows? What? Oh, come on. Not on taxiway. Sure. We're not on taxiway self-loading cargo, sure. Stop moaning, passengers. We're on taxiway. This plugin is so bugged sometimes. I'm sorry, but this plugin is so bugged. Yeah, not on taxiway. And also, why are the passengers so concerned? How do they even know? Oh well. I guess we'll have to take the rating for this flight as a bit false then, because I will get a terrible pilot grade now for not being on the taxiway. I mean, I'm pretty sure we are on the taxiway, but you know, apparently even now, look, we're not on taxiway. I don't know where it gets its logic from, but apparently we're not on the taxiway. Here we go, park at the gates. Never mind, and turn off the engines. Satisfaction of the passengers is now rising again, but they're going to be anxious about the fact that I didn't do that part. A little bit too far. Oh well. Still give us a bow. That's pretty good. You're on the ground in Gibraltar. It's lovely scenery this as well.
Cabin crew, the aircraft is secure. Please open doors. Thank you.
Wheel chocks and ground power on. Off go the parking brakes. Oh, I didn't. I didn't turn off the APU. Why is that a thing? Right, turn off
Ladies
the
and gentlemen,
taxi
from the
lights.
cockpit once again, I hope you enjoyed your flight with us today. On behalf of myself, the first
Turn off
officer,
the
and the
APU, turn off
cabin crew, we wish
everything.
you a safe and pleasant journey from the airport and hope to see you again soon. Thanks for flying with us.
Yeah, so unfortunately we have lost a vast amount of our satisfaction, thanks to that, but, you know, what can we do, I guess? What can we do? I can't do anything about it. It's just how it wants to be, isn't it, really? So, oh well. But open the doors, open everything, ready for deboarding. I'll open the cargo doors. Here we go. Yeah, unfortunately, yes, we are going to have some very, we're going to have a very bad pilot rating now because of the fact that we were apparently not on taxiway. It's because it's an unrecognised airport surface. It only recognises certain types of material as taxiway, and obviously this is a different material to normal. The new hotfix is adding some new ones, so it's adding oil treated brick and macadam as valid runway and taxiway surface types. So hopefully that taxiway is one of those 3 surface types, and that will mean that we no longer get a penalty when we fly into Gibraltar, but we'll just have to ignore it, I guess. I'm wondering whether I should keep using this plugin, honestly, though, because it does. I've learnt through doing quite a few flights with it, there are quite a few bugs in it, so maybe we should wait until it's fully fixed, but who knows. There are definitely a fair amount of bugs in there. Pretty good landing though, minus 201. I didn't look at what it was on the stream. Was it minus 201 on the stream as well? I'm having a look at it back now on the stream, because I couldn't remember what it said on the stream. 201, yeah, so it did agree. Nice. Anyway, that is it for today then. Hope everyone really enjoyed it. I know, but I'm a bit sorry about the self-loading cargo, but whatever. We'll go ahead and deboard everyone. I'm going to get a terrible flight review. Oh, we're still going to B+. As you can see, look, so there's another bug. We were not above 250 knots. As I said, I pointed it out. I did follow it safely. Grass. Grass. What? How was that grass? I'm sorry, but how was that grass? That was not grass. Well, there we go. I mean, I'm a bit confused. That wasn't grass that I was taxiing over, so who knows? It must be a bug in the scenery, as in what it registers as. I can tell you now, self-loading cargo, that was not grass. Oh well, we're still going to B+, amazingly, so it's not too bad, really. Given, you know, this one, I think it was because of the steep climb out of Cagliari. This one, it was a backtrack down the runway, you're meant to go quickly. This one, it was not grass, and as I said, I've proven now that this is a bug. It wasn't affected on the 787, but clearly with the A320 and the 737, it is a very clear bug. So yeah, unfortunately there's quite a few bugs in self-loading cargo, but oh wow. That is us finished with then. Today we're going to we'll make it nice and cold and dark. Now may as well go cold and dark, right? And then we'll finish up. I didn't turn off the fuel pumps actually, I should have done that when we parked. Well, there we go, that's done now.
Bye.
Anyway, everything is now turned off and finished with. Everything's all gone cold and dark. There we go, we'll head outside now. Disconnect from Vatsim. Yeah, a bit of a shame about the flight today then. What with, apparently we were taxiing on grass. I mean, I don't think that's grass somehow, but apparently it's grass. Never mind, I guess it's how it is, isn't it? Anyway, never mind, we'll ignore that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed. I will see you in the next stream, where we will actually be doing some VFR flying on Wednesday evening normal time, and Thursday afternoon we are flying from Gibraltar up to Heathrow, and honestly, I don't think I'm going to use self-loading cargo. Unless there is something that patches it. I'm going to send another thing to the developer now. He didn't actually get back to me about the other issue. I'll see if I can actually, like, physically message him. Anyway, I'll do that after the stream. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. I will leave you with the background music, and be sure to tune in for more streams. As I thought, yep, we are up to 90 subscribers now on the channel, just 10 away from the big 3-figure number, so if we can keep that up, it'll be excellent. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed, and bye-bye!